Welcome to the Simply Real podcast, where we elevate your mind with diverse music, great speakers, and your daily dose of motivation and inspiration with your one and only host, Jennifer Maharaj.
Girl, you're amazing. Need you in my life. My guardian angel, and I'm gonna make you my wife. Girl, you rock my world so amazing. Very intriguing, captivating. You forever in my...
A very special guest we have with us. He's a reggae dancehall artist from Jamaica. He's also a chef. He's doing some great things. He's just dropped his new album. It's a pleasure to have him here today on Funk Nation Radio. Welcome, Winston. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. So, I met you on Clubhouse and I just been hearing your music, which, by the way, your entire album is on my playlist. So that's the first thing to say. It's a great album. But start off by telling us a little bit about you, as an individual, where you're from, what you're about. We'd love to hear a little bit about you.
So my name is Winston. I go by Winston J. Winston J is actually Winston is actually my first name. I just use my middle initial for the J. So, that's how my artist name came about. Grew up in a small town in Jamaica called Linstead. I've been in America for a good almost 17 years.
Wow.
So, been here for a minute. I've lived in Florida for a little bit. That's actually where I lived first when I came here. Then I went straight to New York. Then now I'm in Georgia. I'm in the phase where I feel like I want to relocate to somewhere else, just to get a change. But I'm not sure yet.
Right. Well, I mean, at least you lived in a couple different places. Florida's great. New York is the best place in the world.
Except the snow.
Except the snow. You're right about that. That is true. And so you left Jamaica pretty young.
No, I was actually 24 when I left Jamaica. So
Wow.
I grew up there. I was a grown up when I came over here.
Right. What were some of the differences that you seen, like being in the Caribbean and being here in America?
Oh man, it was culture shock at first, For one, it was just the land, the space. It's just Jamaica is so condensed, everything is like the longest place. It would probably take me like 2 hours to get to the longest part of Jamaica. So, I mean, it was just even when I was in Florida. Now I'm in Georgia. The state is just so big. It's just like overwhelming, and then the different diversity of people, especially when it's in New York. New York is very diverse. I would just go up 2 blocks and I would be in the Amish community. Then, I go a couple blocks and I'm in the Hispanic community. So it was culture shock for me.
Right. Yeah, and that'll do it for you. Especially coming to New York, it's the melting pot. So there's so many different cultures here. So I definitely understand that. So I know you are a really great artist. You have a great album that just dropped. How did you get into music, and how did you start your artistry to start getting into that?
That's funny. So music has always been like a part of growing up, whether it be gospel music, because I grew up predominantly in the church. But my oldest brother, he was always around the music. He was always writing songs and doing stuff, and I used to be copying him, taking his songs and pretending they were mine, until I start writing my own music at probably about like 14, around that time. And it took the pandemic though, because that's when I actually started saying I'm gonna put my music out. I started recording back in like 2017, but I was just doing it for fun. But then after the pandemic, I started having so much time, I put a little studio in the house, and I was like, let me start seeing what if I take this serious. Because the issue was getting to a studio, getting the song mixed and recorded and getting it out. So when I put the studio in the house, I started being able to do everything by myself. And I put my first single out in 2021.
Wow. And you said during the pandemic. Now I know a lot of people are a lot of things grew and are born out of the pandemic. So the pandemic really gave you that passion and drive behind putting out your music. I'm guessing.
I'm not the passion and the drive, but I guess because I was in the house, I was just trying to find stuff to
Right.
occupy my time, and I was like, I love the music, and
Right.
I have so many songs that I like. Even the album that I dropped, probably like four of those songs was written like years ago.
Wow. So you've been writing for a while and you finally
Yeah.
decided to put it together. Now, I know I've heard you tell about some of the songs mean something very special to you, and they actually have some kind of message in it. So tell us a bit about some of your songs and what they mean to you and how it kind of relates to your life.
So most times when I write, I'm reflecting on something, either something that I've been through, something that I see. Um, Royalty is definitely one of those projects where the majority of the songs is personal to me. With my daughter, you know, so I was born a twin. My sister did not make it; she was stillborn. And I've had my first child. He was a twin, but the his mom lost the other one in the first trimester. She didn't even know that she was pregnant with twin until she thought she was having a miscarriage. That's when they found out that she just lost on her sex. Um, then my second child be, ended up being a boy. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna make no twins, and I'm not gonna make no girls. So when the girl came about, it kind of just gave me like a new perspective on everything. It was just like, okay, so now I start reflecting back on how I see women getting treated. I start reflecting on how I've treated women in the past. And so I was just like, I want to make a project just more specific to the woman, so I decided I want to call it royalty because I feel like all women are queens, or princesses if they're growing up. So that's how that project came about. The title track, you know, that came off a song that I wrote. I have a song that I call King, and a bunch of people was asking me, specifically the woman, they were saying, "Where's the song for the queens?" So when I came across that beat that I used for that song, I was like, "Ooh!" Beat was called Royalty when I got it from the producer. So I was like, "This is the perfect one." So I sat in the studio and I came up with the hook, and I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be the whole project. I'm gonna just make it for the queens," and that's how that project actually came about.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. I mean, first of all, I'm sorry for your loss of your twin, and then with your daughter as well. And but a lot of people say that out of that pain, that's where passion is born. And I can tell in your song just by listening to your entire album, it's filled with so much passion and a lot of pain too. I can hear it in there. So it's definitely a great album. But that's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that with us. And your experiences really help you to put out your music. And as an artist, what do you think that are some of the values and principles that help you to master your craft?
So consistency definitely was one of the things. I got to a point where I felt like I've been procrastinating with the music for so long because I would write songs and then I would record some, but then it would be just put in on the hard drive and nothing was done with it.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the time out and I'm gonna make sure that I do this project. And I it was a struggle because from engineers to recording, I was recording it myself, so that was the good thing. But just to get the final mix, like I think I went through probably like three different engineers, and when I finally found one engineer, I was like, okay, I found a perfect engineer, but he wasn't as fast as I wanted him to be because he would take like 2 weeks on one song. So
Right.
I was like, okay, this is not going to work out. Like I was crunching for time because I wanted to do it at a specific time, but then I reached out to DJ 808, You know, he's one of them on Clubhouse too, one of the popular DJs, and he had told me already that he would have helped me with the project because I was already in a relationship with another engineer. I was like, I have to wait till to see how that goes because I don't want to kind of like screw nobody over. So
Right.
when I realized that, 808 did 6 songs in less than 48 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can believe it. He's
It
amazing.
it it it, it kind of just like blew my mind, like and like he would like if I say I don't like the sound of this, he would like, okay, I'm learning too. He was like, I'm learning, so and he would do it. And then sometimes I would be like, at first listen, I'd be like, oh no, change this. But then I listened again, I was like, no, no, that's good. But it did not take a long process, and we was able to get the album together like 2 weeks before the drop date. So I was able to post it online, get the time for it to get to the curators and stuff. So
That's a
808
power
helped me out big time.
collaboration, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
DJ 808 is amazing. And
yes.
I know you've been doing a lot of collaborations on Clubhouse too, besides DJ 808, which he did a great job on that album. Shout out to him, by the way. But who else are you planning on collaborating with on Clubhouse? Or just in general, what are some collaborations you
So
have
my
coming up?
first collab that I did on Clubhouse with a African based artist. He's from Nigeria, but he's in the US. His name is Duncan Daniels. I did a song with him called Yard Party, and that song is actually doing pretty good. It's a little bit shy of I haven't checked the numbers today yet, but when I checked yesterday, it was almost at 130,000 streams. And we
Wow.
dropped that one at on December 2nd. So that one is actually doing pretty good. And then I have another Clubhouse collab. Have a couple songs with Nigerian. His name is Gandhi Boy. I have a couple collabs with him. Um, Waiting on the final mixes. I might have to take them over to DJ 808 because it's been months. This one was before even the project. I have a track with I'm working on a track with The Gate Zion. That one he's just waiting on me. He did his part already. And
Right.
then
He's another great artist. Can't wait to hear that collaboration.
that song is pretty good. It's
Yeah.
actually a song about marijuana. I'm just
Looking forward to hearing that one,
but
definitely.
so I feel like that one is actually gonna be an anthem because everybody a lot of a lot of burners out here. And
Right,
then
right.
my next project that I want to do, I want to actually do a reggae dancehall Afrobeats collab. Just I want to do an EP with that. So most of these collabs that I'm doing right now, I'm probably gonna try and see if I could push those for the next project. Um, so thinking I'm gonna call it Jam African or something in that particular, but it's just gonna be a Jamaican artist and some African artists. So I know I
Nice.
know I'm gonna plug the gate on that. I have another artist. He's from Ghana. He sent me a couple tracks too. So he's actually a producer, but he's producer slash artist. His name is Peter. So probably gonna be. I'm trying to do 6 songs, so I don't know if I want to do just 3 artists and have 2 songs with each, or I want to find 6 different artists. I'm just in the works of doing it right now, but I'm still trying to finish up doing royalty since it's out now. So once I start recording again, I'm gonna start on that project. But
Yeah, and I mean, listening to your whole album and just listening to you speak about the collaborations, you really are a very diverse artist. I mean, your whole album is very diverse in the type of music that you bring out. So, that shout out to you. I'm sure the album is doing really well. Have you checked the streams on the album and how's it doing?
it's actually doing pretty good. The numbers are going up. The main song on it right now, number one, that's doing amazing. Last I checked, it was over 4,000 streams. Um, and it's
Nice.
triggering the algorithm, so it's pulling
Right.
other songs, and that's with no marketing right now. That's just
Wow, that's with no
straight,
marketing. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
that's just straight uh
Right.
either fans from I know DJ 808 is pushing that song because he's actually helping me with promotions and stuff too. So
Right.
I have Big Sleep. He favors that song as well, so he's doing what he can on his side. So I've came across a lot of good help on Clubhouse. So I'm really glad for that platform, and of
Yeah,
course
no,
you as well too, Jen, because I know I try to be in your space because I try to support who support me. I just feel like that's just how it's supposed to be.
no, definitely. And I love the support, and you definitely are a supportive person. So I definitely appreciate that. How is it being received in Jamaica, your hometown? I mean, what's it like over there? Everybody's checking you out, and the songs, how
So
are they receiving the whole album?
so Jamaica is actually one of the top cities. That So Kingston in particular, that's one of the top cities that. So I have a good amount of listeners. It's my second city with the most listeners. So
Oh,
it's doing pretty good.
nice. So that's good to hear. Good to hear. So, as an artist, what are some of the biggest challenges that you think that you have faced or are facing that's either holding you back in some way or just presenting some challenges for you?
I mean, just funding it, by yourself. I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges right now. Just have to make your own budget to promote, to get the engineers, to do videos and stuff like that. I feel like that's the most challenging part because the equipment's definitely cost just to get my own studio. The equipment's definitely cost, and me and my brother, we kind of like came together and did that. So we took the recording part off the table where we don't have to go pay for studio time. So that benefited me real well because I was able to, like, at the drop of a dime, if I want to go record, I just go record. So
Right.
that helps. But I feel like the only thing that's really a struggle for me is just funding the music, to push it the way I really want to.
Right.
Because it's a lot of markets that I would want to reach, but when I tally up, I'm like, okay, I don't have the budget for this right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of artists that presents that challenge for them is the budgets and the financial side of it. But the good thing about nowadays with the artists and the music is that you have social media to sort of help in digital platforms and platforms like Clubhouse where you can actually get your music out there. So
Definitely, definitely.
yeah. So besides music, you're pretty busy because I heard you're a chef also.
Yes, yes. So I started my catering company back in 2019, and it has been amazing. I've been able to actually travel to a lot of different cities. People book me from Miami, for Pittsburgh, for LA. So
Nice.
it's been good. I actually don't even do a lot of like, because I normally do like in-state catering. I don't do a lot of those no more. Like most of the stuff right now is I'll get a booking for like a travel, like a weekend or a dinner or something like that. So
Gotta get you up here to New York.
yes, yes. And
What's up?
I have family up there in New York and Brooklyn still. So when I get booked for New York, it's always a joy because I know I get to just I don't have to worry about stay. I just
Right.
let them put that towards my pay.
Yeah, of course. What are some of the favorite dishes that you make? What are some
So
of the top
it,
favorites?
it's oxtail is my number one. So I've
I had a feeling you were gonna say that.
yeah, that is my number one. Something about the oxtail but I make it's not the typical Jamaican cuisine though because
Right.
I put a twist on it with Mexican food, with American food. So I twist everybody's stuff, even Italian. I make the pasta, or I make the fajitas, the tacos. I make the lamb chops.
Oh, dear,
So
you're making me hungry right
so I
now.
put a twist on it. I even do like egg rolls. So it's very diverse. It's not like you wouldn't think it's the typical Jamaican food, but it just
Right.
has the flavor.
Right. So it's a little bit different. I love that. Well, I definitely can't wait to try it out. Definitely can't wait to get you up here in New York, have you cater one of these events we're having. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Definitely, definitely. I'm looking
I don't know
forward to it.
how you do all that because you said you're a new father. You have how many kids you were talking about before? So and you're a chef. You have music. How do you balance
So,
this all out,
so,
Winston?
so time is always not there for me. Like, but
Wow, I can attest to that.
I have somehow found a way to balance it. And then for the last couple months, I've been really just on chill. So like with the project, the last project, it's like I was able to have the time to do it because I was on chill mode. So
Right. Well, whatever you're doing, share it with us because I don't know. I'm having problems balancing myself. So shout out to you for balancing all that. You're doing a great job. Definitely doing a great job. Well, we definitely appreciate your time being here with us in Funk Nation Radio. Is there anything else that you want to leave the viewers and the audience with today?
yes, definitely, definitely. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on right now. So just look out for a lot of new music, good conscious music. Um, Royalty is just the beginning. I have another project that's already done too, called Money on My Mind. It's a 8-track project, but like I said, I'm just giving it time, and I have a couple singles that it's also in the work. So I have new music coming out. I'm in the works of doing a music video for number one, so look forward to that too. And then I'm gonna do a music video for my other track called The Love Story. So coming up in before the first quarter ends, I should have number one video out, and then I'm gonna have the next video out. So I'm just gonna keep bringing the content.
Yes, you are. You're shooting out content like no tomorrow. Shout out to you for that. One other thing I do want to quickly bring up because I know we've been in a couple spaces together, and even you telling the story about losing your twin at birth and the whole mental health aspect. Being as an artist and being an influencer in the community, do you speak often about mental health? And what are your thoughts about being open and honest about getting that conversation going?
I mean, it's not always a comfortable conversation for everyone, but I know at some point in life we all struggle with that. You know, I've had my moments when I felt like I was lost. I felt like I was alone. And it was because I kept what I was feeling to myself. You know, if you have a community, a circle, it's okay to share whatever you're going through because trying to process it by yourself is never helpful, because what you do is you just building all this, whatever you're feeling. It could be pain, it could be frustration, it could be just simple emotions that you just need to express, but you're in fear that you might offend somebody. And but what you do to yourself is you you keep that in, and you allow yourself to be depressed, or just carry feelings that it's not healthy for you. Now you start seeing your health deteriorating, or you don't want to be around nobody. So it's always safe to find at least one person to be able to express what you're going through to, even if it's a stranger. Sometimes it's better to tell strangers because you
Yeah,
know
so true.
sometimes it's better to talk to strangers because sometimes you don't want to feel like your own people is judging you. And
Right, the whole
we
judgment aspect of it. You're right. It's a good
so
point.
I do understand it, but that's something I have to teach myself, because we deal with so much on a daily basis, because we have kids, we have to make sure that we're providing, we have our businesses that we're trying to run. It's a lot, and
Right.
we're only one person, so it's okay to vent. I believe in it, and I've been working on not being so closed off. I, I'm a closed off person just naturally, and I find myself like, even today, I'll just stay away from people, you
Right.
know, and I'll try to process everything that I go on have going on. But the good thing I have, my brother, he'll call me and he'll be like, "Yo, how you feeling today?"
I love that. That's
And
great.
but it's something that we just developed, because we understand that when he's going through his situation, I had to be like, yo, you could, bro, it's okay. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Right.
Even if it's to just get it off your chest.
Right.
I may not have the solution, but
Just to listen.
just to get it off your chest and
Right.
just to let you know that, I understand where you at, and whatever we need to do together, I'm here for you. You're here for me.
Right. I love
There's
that.
this saying, we have and I'm pretty sure it's not just in Jamaica, but it says no man is an island, no man stands alone.
Yeah.
And we just have to live by that. We were born to be with somebody else, to share with somebody else, to it's not just for a relationship, but everybody needs somebody. And
Yeah. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I couldn't agree with you more. And as a man and as an artist and an influencer, I commend you for just speaking openly and honestly about that and making sure that those communication barriers are broken. Because the more we speak about it, is the more we understand that it's okay to go through those things. So I definitely appreciate that and keep spreading that word. And I love that you have that supportive of your brother as well, because that's important to have somebody to speak to. So that's a really important thing.
definitely, because
Yeah.
the mental breakdowns by yourself is
It's hard, and
yeah,
people don't realize. They think that life is. I just did a live about this actually on Instagram. People think that life is so easy because of what you see on social media. People paint this picture like their life is so easy and perfect, but reality is life is not perfect. It's imperfect at many times, and it's going to throw us roadblocks and adversities and challenges. And learning how to navigate through that is really important. So it's good that you have a good head on your shoulders. You're definitely going to be a great father for your kids. So I see that already. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Again, we definitely appreciate your time here on Funk Nation Radio. Tell the viewers, listeners, where they can reach out to you, how they can get in touch with you, how they can get your music, all the great stuff that you have going on. We definitely want to make sure we plug all your stuff that you have.
okay, viewers. So my name is Winston J. You can find me on all social media. I am Winston J. Um, that's on TikTok. That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter. I have a website. It's called yardflavor.com. That's YAADFLAVA.com. That's yardflavor.com, where you could find links to my music, links to my food, and you can learn about me more. And you could also tap in with me on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse, it's Winston J. So just tap in with me.
Yes, and we will definitely have a lot of Winston's music coming up later on for you in the show right here in Funk Nation Radio. Keep it locked in. Thank you all for joining us.
Baby, you worth it. Everything in this world, you deserve it. You're a queen, baby, you are my number one. Me number one. Stress and pain if you're hurting. Real love should fight, we preserve it. You're a prize, baby, you are my number one.